So what does a skateboard and your experience of pain or fear have in common? My name is Elliot. I'm a pain specialist at Revive Life. I'm an osteopath and specifically a chronic pain specialist, and I'm here to tell you what a skateboard has in common with your pain, or at least your fear. Now, there was a really very fascinating study where they had two groups of people. They put both groups of people on the top of a hill. It's just that one group was standing on a skateboard and the other group was standing on a box, and they just asked, how steep is that hill? Now, the group who was standing on the skateboard exaggerated the decline, and they had an increased amount of fear around the steepness of that hill. Now, what this shows us is that your fear or your perceived sense of vulnerability massively changes the world that you create. Now, this could be, for example, someone with arthritic knees. They now deem that the stairs are really steep, so they move to a bungalow. The only issue is that by removing that daily stressor, which they might have been able to actually overcome with a certain amount of exercise and strengthening under the guidance of a pain clinician like myself, they've actually removed the daily stress which was keeping them fit. So then they go through further atrophy because of their fear. So then they do less and their muscles shrink more until they have shrunk their world down to a size which was much smaller than it was before. It's the equivalent of someone being scared of water. If I'm scared of water, I can now no longer enjoy the medium of water. If I'm scared of lifting something heavy because of a previous issue that I had with my back, it massively shuts down my capability as a human being. Things that are actually light and quite manageable now seem unmanageable, and that means that I walk around with a higher sense of stress, apprehension, but unfortunately a higher sense of vulnerability. Now, the remedy to this is a better framework of thinking about life. Life is not meant to be easy. Life is not meant to be free of pain or fear or emotional stress. But what we should have is an underlying philosophy or an underlying framework, a way that we can look at life that empowers us the best way possible. And that tends to fall into two camps. One, yes, absolutely, we need compassion. And that doesn't just come from others, it comes from ourselves as well. We should be able to soothe ourselves, to be able to calm ourselves, to be able to remedy our own fear, our own discomfort. Now, often that will mean that you come to see someone like me, and so, for example, an osteopath, and I will not just soothe your pain, I will teach you how you can also soothe your pain. Now, that does a couple of things, but one, it reduces your distress, reduces your pain, reduces your perceived vulnerability. But the issue is that after the treatment, sometimes this discomfort can start to creep up again, and that can make you feel vulnerable again. So it's very important that I teach you how to soothe yourself. Just like if you were to see a counsellor, they wouldn't just work on you in the session, they would give you a toolkit so you could soothe yourself in between sessions. But that's just one side of the spectrum. The other side of the spectrum is we've got to increase your capacity, because it's not necessarily a ruined life, but it's a hindered life, a burdened life, an unenjoyable life, an anxious life, if you are constantly, consciously or subconsciously aware of potential threats. That means being scared that you can't pick something up off the floor, scared that you can't get up if you fall over, concerned about walking down certain streets because the roads are cobbled and your ankles can't handle it, or you're at high risk of falling, scared of going up and down stairs, scared of going too far from home in case you get tired. We are becoming more and more in the Western world accompanied with these states of fear. And that is because as a society or as a species, we've out-engineered our environment. We can move to bungalows, we've got stair lifts, we've got fast foods, we have buses, taxis, cars, and we've essentially removed the friction from life. And it's important that we dose ourselves up with friction on a healthy basis. Friction is exercise for the body, it is fibre for the diet, it is difficult and challenging things for the brain. But if we do these things on a regular basis, balanced with self-compassion and compassion for others, then we can build a much more self-sufficient, empowered and peaceful way of life. If you need any help dipping into these domains and help guiding or help to receive guidance through chronic pain, injuries, mental illness, poor fitness, all these things that hinder ourselves in life, then you know what you need to do. All you need to do is contact us via the details below. That's at the revitaliseclinic.co.uk, or if you're interested in seeing a practitioner close to you, we are due to launch My Pain Clinic, which is where we're going to be placing pain clinicians, expert pain clinicians on every high street. That is the ambition. So all you need to do is contact us via the details below, and we'll get you in contact with the right expert for you. Thank you so much for watching.